Hello everyone, this is Sanjeev Tayal, and in this particular video we are going to talk about Geoffrey Chaucer. You know that Geoffrey Chaucer, he is known as the father of English poetry. He is known as the father of English literature, and at the same time Geoffrey Chaucer is also known as the grandfather of English novel. Now we shall discuss what are those characteristics which make Geoffrey Chaucer the father of English poetry or grandfather of English novel. Now, before discussing the literary career of Geoffrey Chaucer, let's talk about some historical events which influenced age of Chaucer. Now, the three major historical events which influenced the age of Chaucer are Hundred Years' War. The first is Hundred Years' War. You know, Hundred Years' War that continued from 1337 to 1453. This is the first major historical event. Now, the second major historical event, that is Black Death. The Black Death reached Europe in 1347 and it continued up to 1351. And the third major historical event during the age of Chaucer, that is the Peasants' Revolt, Kisano ka Andolan. The Peasants' Revolt that took place in 1381. Now we shall discuss Hundred Years' War in detail. Now, Hundred Years' War, that was a war between England and France. That was a conflict between England and France. And due to that war, a sense of English identity, a sense of identity developed in the people of England. They started respecting their own language, they started respecting their own country. Now, there are three battles which are concerned with Hundred Years' War. These three battles are the Battle of Crecy, the Battle of Crecy, C-R-E-C-Y, that was in 1346. The second battle, that is the Battle of Poitiers, the Battle of Poitiers, P-I-O-T-I-E-R-S, the Battle of Poitiers, 1356. And the third is the Battle of Agincourt, that was in 1415. That was in 1415. So the first major historical event, that is Hundred Years' War. And the next is Black Death. The Black Death that ranged between 1347 to 1351. You know, Black Death was a kind of plague. And that plague just wiped out 1/3 population of England. And the class which was affected most due to Black Death, due to plague, that was the working class. That was the peasants class that was affected most. So, due to Black Death, now the people started questioning the healing power of church and clergy. The people started questioning, the people started doubting the healing power of church and clergy. And before Black Death, the people used to be superstitious. But now, when their superstitions couldn't heal their wounds, couldn't heal their misery and suffering, that's why the people now started turning towards science. And that's why after Black Death, or you can say during the Black Death, science was given more value than such type of superstitions. So this was about Black Death. Now, Peasants' Revolt. You know, due to Black Death and due to Hundred Years' War, a revolt took place. That revolt is known as Peasants' Revolt. That Peasants' Revolt that took place in 1381. And Peasants' Revolt, the leader of Peasants' Revolt were Wat Tyler and John Ball. The leaders of Peasants' Revolt were Wat Tyler and John Ball. So the peasants thought that they have to pay heavy taxes. And as they have to pay heavy taxes, why they are paying such type of taxes? They started thinking about that. That's why they started revolting under their leaders, Wat Tyler and John Ball. So after all these three major historical events, you can say that English became the language of court in 1362. Then the English became the language of parliament in 1363, and then English became the language of school teaching in 1386. So you can say gradually English replaced French in all the walks of life. So these are three major historical events during the age of Chaucer. The first is Hundred Years' War, the second is Black Death, and then it is Peasants' Revolt. After that, we shall talk about Geoffrey Chaucer. You know, as far as Geoffrey Chaucer is concerned, his literary career can be divided into three periods. The first is French period, the second is Italian period, and the third is English period. During French period, Geoffrey Chaucer translated works which were originally written in French language, and during Italian period, Geoffrey Chaucer translated those works which were originally written in Latin, and during English period, he produced his original work, and that is the Canterbury Tales. Now, what are those works which are concerned with French period? The first is Romaunt of the Rose. The first work during French period, that is Romaunt of the Rose. You know, Romaunt of the Rose, that is an English translation from a French work, that is Roman de la Rose. Romaunt of the Rose, that is an English translation from a French work, that is Roman de la Rose. And Romaunt of the Rose, that was written in octosyllabic couplets. My dear students, you must remember it. Romaunt of the Rose, that was written in octosyllabic couplets, and Romaunt of the Rose, this is an allegorical romance. This is an allegorical romance. Now, the Book of the Duchess, you know, the Book of the Duchess. The Book of the Duchess, that is an elegy. That is an elegy, and that was written on the death of Blanche. This was written on the death of Blanche. Who was Blanche? Blanche was the wife of John of Gaunt. She was the wife of John of Gaunt. And the Book of the Duchess, that was also written in octosyllabic couplets. Now the third work, which is concerned with French period, that is the Parliament of the Fowls. The third work, that is Parliament of the Fowls. Fowls means birds. And this work, Parliament of the Fowls, that is in rhyme royal stanza. You know what is rhyme royal stanza? A stanza of 7 lines. Okay? Parliament of the Fowls, that is in rhyme royal stanza. And the rhyme scheme that was used in Parliament of Fowls, that was AB, AB, B, C, C. What was the rhyme scheme? That was AB, AB, B, C, C. That was a rhyme scheme. AB, AB, B, C, C. That was a rhyme scheme of Parliament of Fowls. So Parliament of Fowls, that is written in rhyme royal stanza. So these were three works concerned with French period: Romaunt of the Rose, the Book of the Duchess, the Parliament of Fowls. Now, after that, we shall talk about the Italian period. We shall talk about the Italian period. You know, during his Italian period, Geoffrey Chaucer was influenced by 3 Italian poets named Dante, Petrarch, and Boccaccio. Dante, Petrarch, and Boccaccio. The first work during Italian period, that is most important work, that is Troilus and Cressida. That is Troilus and Cressida. This is written in rhyme royal. That is written in rhyme royal. That is a 7-line stanza with the rhyme scheme AB, AB, B, C, C. Now, the next Italian work, that is House of the Fame. The House of the Fame, this is again a dream allegory. And House of the Fame is written in octosyllabic couplet. That is written in octosyllabic couplet. And the next work which is concerned with Italian period, that is the Legend of Good Women. The first work was Troilus and Cressida, that was in rhyme royal. The second work is House of Fame, that is a dream allegory, and that was in octosyllabic couplet. And the third work, that is Legend of Good Women. You know, Geoffrey Chaucer had criticized women in his previous works like Troilus and Cressida. So that's why the god of love rebuked him, and particularly the wife of god of love. And the name of wife of god of love was Alceste. A-L, the wife of god of love was, the name of wife of god of love was Alceste. So Alceste rebuked Geoffrey Chaucer and asked him to write a work about some virtuous women, about some good women. And the result was this work, The Legend of Good Women. And you must remember that this work, Legend of Good Women, that was written in heroic couplets. This work was written in heroic couplets. So these were three Italian works of Geoffrey Chaucer. Now we proceed to the next period in the life of Geoffrey Chaucer, that is the English period. You know, during English period, he originally produced a work in English, and that is the Canterbury Tales. You know, Geoffrey Chaucer is also credited for one thing as far as English language is concerned, that Geoffrey Chaucer used East Midland dialect of English. Which dialect Geoffrey Chaucer used? East Midland dialect. And that became the standard dialect of English after that. Now, this work, the Canterbury Tales, that is in English, and the idea was taken from Boccaccio's Decameron. The idea was taken from Boccaccio's Decameron, and this is having a frame idea. This is having a framework. You know, what is a frame story? Canterbury Tales, you can say this is a frame story. Frame story, when there is a story within the story. So, Canterbury Tales, that is having the frame story. The idea is taken from Boccaccio's Decameron. I am just telling you the main points. And in total, in Canterbury Tales, there are 31 characters. 21 pure pilgrims, one narrator, who is Geoffrey Chaucer himself, and one, the host of Tabard Inn. And the host of Tabard Inn is Harry Bailey. So 21 plus 1 plus 1, in total there are 31 characters. And each character, each pilgrim was supposed to tell 4 stories. So the plan was of 124 stories. But Geoffrey Chaucer only could complete 24 tales. Original plan was of 124 tales. But Geoffrey Chaucer could write only 24 tales. One thing which is very important, that these 24 tales are told by 23 characters. These 24 tales are told by 23 characters, mean thereby one character told 2 stories. And that character who told 2 stories, that character is Geoffrey Chaucer himself. Geoffrey Chaucer told 2 stories. One, Tale of Malebis, and one is Tale of Sir Thopas. Tale of Sir Thopas. Now, as far as hierarchy of these 31 characters is concerned, the knight was highest in hierarchy and plowman was lowest in hierarchy. Knight जो character है वो hierarchy में in 31 characters में highest था, plowman जो है वो lowest था. And these as far as these 24 tales are concerned, 22 tales are in verse and 2 tales are in prose. What are those 2 tales which are in prose? First, Chaucer's Tale of Melibea, and second is the Parson's Tale. 2 tales which are in prose, Chaucer's Tale of Melibea, and the second is the Parson's Tale. The second is the Parson's Tale. You got my point? Now, you must be knowing that there are 3 female characters. Out of these 31 pilgrims, there are 3 female characters. Wife of Bath, nun's prioress, and second nun. There are 8 ecclesiastical characters. Ecclesiastical matlab religious, related to church. How many ecclesiastical characters are there? 8. And 3 military profession. 3 characters are related to military profession. One is knight, second is his son, squire, and the third is yeoman, Y-E-O-M-A-N. So 3 characters are concerned with military profession. Knight, squire, and yeoman. And 3 characters are concerned with land. भूमि से संबंधित 3 characters हैं. Franklin, Reeve, and Plowman. Okay? Franklin, Reeve, and Plowman. Now, one more important thing, that Geoffrey Chaucer used 3 principal meters in his works. As far as his literary career is concerned, Geoffrey Chaucer used 3 principal meters. The first is heroic couplet, second is rhyme royal, and the third is octosyllabic couplet. I am repeating, 3 principal meters which Geoffrey Chaucer used. First is heroic couplet, second is rhyme royal, and the third is octosyllabic couplets. So, my dear students, all these characteristics, all these works make Geoffrey Chaucer as a father of English poetry and the grandfather of English novel. So, this is all about Geoffrey Chaucer. This is just a summarized video about Geoffrey Chaucer. My dear students, if you want to have the complete knowledge of Geoffrey Chaucer, all his works of French period, Italian period, the prologue to Canterbury Tales, about all the 24 tales in detail about Geoffrey Chaucer, then you should just send me your name and your mobile number, your WhatsApp number, on my WhatsApp number 720-620-9562, which is also scrolling under. So, my dear students, keep learning, keep yourself motivated so that you may get success. Thank you. Thanks a lot.